February. Snow is piled up outside, the heating bill is already painful, and you just got back from the grocery store where a bag of carrots that used to cost $1.50 is now pushing $3. Sound familiar? But here is what is different about you today. After watching this video, you are never going to stand in that produce aisle feeling helpless again. Because right now, hiding in plain sight around your home, your garage, your backyard, even a kitchen cabinet, there are spots that can keep your carrots, potatoes, apples, beets, onions, and more perfectly crisp and fresh for months. No electricity, no expensive equipment, no fancy setup. Today, I am showing you 7 root cellar ideas so cheap it is almost embarrassing. One of them costs absolutely nothing. One costs less than your last fast food meal. Stick around to the end because the last method is specifically for people who live in apartments or have zero outdoor space, and it works just as well as everything else on this list. No excuses after today. Let's get into it. The first method is the buried trash can, and this one is an absolute classic. People have been doing this for generations, long before supermarkets existed, long before the idea of buying fresh food year-round was even a possibility. The concept is so beautifully simple. You dig a hole in your yard deep enough so that when you place a metal trash can inside, the lid sits right at ground level. The soil surrounding it acts as natural insulation, keeping the temperature inside cool and steady, even when the air above is frozen solid in January. The earth itself becomes your refrigerator, powered by nothing, costing nothing to run. Here is how you do it properly. Get yourself a metal trash can, not plastic. Metal holds up better, and it does not degrade from the moisture in the soil. Drill a handful of small holes in the bottom for drainage so water does not collect and rot your vegetables. Layer your produce inside with straw. Between the layers, never newspaper, never cardboard. My grandmother told me that lesson, and she was absolutely right. Newspaper holds moisture against your vegetables and accelerates rot. Straw breathes. Straw lets air move around your food. Put the lid on tight, pile more straw and dry leaves on top, and you are done. Carrots, turnips, beets, parsnips, all of them love this method. This works best if you are in the colder parts of the country, zones 3 through 7. Think the Midwest, the Northeast, the mountain states. The freezing winters actually work in your favor here because the ground around your can stays cold and steady for months. The second method is the recycled cooler setup, and this one honestly makes me smile every time I talk about it because of how many people have the exact tool they need sitting forgotten in their garage right now. That cooler from your camping trips, the one that has been gathering dust for 2 years, that is your food storage system waiting to happen. Coolers are already engineered to maintain stable temperatures. That is literally their only job. All you need to do is drill 2 small holes on opposite sides near the top for ventilation because without airflow, moisture builds up and mold follows. Then place it somewhere naturally cool, your garage, your shed, under a covered porch. Total cost, if you already own the cooler, $0. If you pick one up secondhand from Facebook Marketplace, maybe $3. This method is particularly brilliant for people in warmer climates, zones 6 through 10, the South, the Southwest, the Pacific Coast, places where burying something in the ground does not give you cold enough temperatures because the ground itself stays too warm. The insulation in the cooler does the work instead. Onions, garlic, cabbage, winter squash, pumpkins all do well with this approach. The one thing I want you to remember is do not skip the ventilation holes. I skipped them my first time out of laziness. Lost a good portion of my onion harvest to mold. It was gutting. 2 small holes and a few minutes of your time saves you months of work. The third method is storing under your porch, and this is one that surprises people every single time because they walk past this space every day and never think about it. The area underneath a raised porch or deck is naturally cool, naturally dark, and naturally protected from the rain. It is, for all practical purposes, a root cellar that already exists. You just have not been using it. Add a few simple shelves. Make sure rainwater drains away from the area rather than pooling, and if you want to do it properly, build a small access door. Nothing fancy, just something that keeps pests out and helps you maintain the right humidity and airflow inside. Leeks, cabbage, kohlrabi, celery root, they all thrive in this kind of environment. This works well across most of the continental United States, zones 4 through 8, and it costs almost nothing to set up if you are handy with basic tools. One important thing, if you have children or grandchildren visiting or pets that roam around outside, put a latch on that access door. A simple hook and eye latch from the hardware store costs less than $1, and it means you are never worrying about anyone getting into your storage by accident. Safety should always be part of how we think about these setups, especially the outdoor ones. Now, I know some of you watching this do not have a yard. Maybe you are in an apartment. Maybe you are renting a place with no outdoor space at all. I have not forgotten about you because the next 4 methods are built exactly for your situation. And the next one, this is the one I get asked about more than any other. People see it and they cannot believe what it costs. Method 4, the DIY insulated storage bin. And listen, I need you to pay close attention here because this one right here is the reason most people click on this video and never leave. I am talking about a setup that takes less than half an hour to build, costs somewhere between $10 and $15 total, and looks so good when it is done that every single person who walks into your garage or basement stops and asks who built it for you. I have had neighbors, grown adults who have lived next to me for years, ask me for the contractor's number. When I tell them it was me, a storage bin, some foam sheets, and about 20 minutes of my afternoon, they genuinely cannot process it. The look on their faces is priceless every single time. Here's the beautiful thing about this method that separates it from everything else on this list. Every other method on here relies on what nature gives you outside. The cold ground, the cool air under your porch, the naturally low temperature in your basement. This one is different. With this setup, you are building the environment yourself. You are not waiting on the weather or hoping your garage stays cold enough. You are in control, which means this works in Florida, it works in Minnesota, it works in a heated apartment building, every climate zone, every living situation, no exceptions. Here's exactly what you need to pull this together. 1 large plastic storage bin, the big deep rectangular kind, not the flat shallow ones. You want something with real depth so you can pack your vegetables in properly with room to breathe. You can find these at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, pretty much anywhere for around $8 to $10. Next, styrofoam insulation sheets. The kind sold for home insulation projects, not the flimsy packing foam from a delivery box. Though honestly, in a pinch that works too. You are looking at $2 to $3 for what you need. And finally, hardware cloth, the wire mesh kind, and you specifically want the 1/4-inch size. This is the detail most people skip and then wonder why they have mice. 1/4-inch mesh, remember that. Step 1, cut your styrofoam sheets down to size and line the U inside of the bin, the bottom, and all 4 sides. You want it to fit snugly so there are no gaps where warm air can sneak through. This insulation layer is the heart of the whole system. It is what keeps the temperature inside cool and steady even when the room around it is warm. Think of it like a cooler that never needs ice. Step 2. Take a drill or a sharp knife and cut 4 or 5 small ventilation holes near the top of the bin, not at the bottom, near the top. Then cover every single one of those holes with a small piece of your hardware cloth secured tightly. This is non-negotiable. Those holes let the air circulate so mold cannot take hold. The mesh keeps mice from treating your hard-earned harvest like a free buffet. Both things matter equally. Step 3. Place it somewhere cool. Your garage, your basement, a covered porch, even a cool interior closet. The insulation is doing most of the heavy lifting, but you still want to give it the best starting environment you can, and that is genuinely the whole thing. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, apples, carrots, beets, parsnips, they all store beautifully in this setup for months. The insulation keeps temperatures stable, the ventilation keeps air moving, and the hardware cloth keeps the critters out. Everything your vegetables need, nothing they do not. Total investment? $15 and half an hour of your Saturday. And when your guests stand there staring at it and asking who built it, you look them dead in the eye and say you did, because you did. And that feeling, that quiet pride of solving a real problem with your own 2 hands for almost nothing, that is what this whole thing is really about. Method 5, the unheated closet. And look, I almost feel guilty calling this a method because it requires almost zero effort, but it absolutely works. And a lot of people are sitting on this solution without realizing it. That spare closet in your basement, the one in a north-facing room, the one in your garage that you only use for coats you never wear anymore. Check the temperature in there right now. I would bet good money it is significantly cooler than the rest of your house. North-facing rooms and basement spaces hold cold naturally. They do not get direct sunlight, they are insulated by surrounding rooms or by the earth itself, and they maintain steady temperatures even through winter. All you need to do is crack the door slightly for ventilation, or add a small vent if you want to be precise about it. Put your vegetables in breathable containers, wicker baskets, wooden crates, mesh bags, never sealed plastic bags because that traps moisture. Onions, garlic, winter squash, pumpkins, cabbage, they all store beautifully in a cool closet. No building required, no cost at all. This works in every climate zone across the country, and it is genuinely one of the most underused food storage solutions I have ever come across. Method 6. The straw-covered pit. This is as old as civilization itself, and it still works just as well today as it did for your great-great-grandparents. You dig a shallow pit in your yard, not deep, just enough to get below the frost line in your area. Layer your vegetables inside with generous amounts of straw between each layer. Then cover the whole thing with about 6 inches of soil and a thick blanket of dry leaves on top. The straw insulates from within. The soil and leaves insulate from outside. The result is a natural pocket of cold, humid storage that keeps your produce dormant and perfectly preserved. I remember my grandmother pulling carrots out of the frozen ground in the middle of February when I was a kid. The ground had been solid ice for weeks, but those carrots came out sweet, crisp, and fresh as any I have ever tasted. That memory is honestly part of why I do what I do today. That experience showed me that the old ways were not primitive, they were just different. And in a lot of cases, they were better than what we replaced them with. This method is best for zones 3 through 7. If you are in an area that gets genuinely cold winters, this is one of the most effective methods available, and it costs you nothing but a shovel and an afternoon. Method 7. The kitchen cabinet root cellar. For anyone living in an apartment or a home without outdoor access, this one is your ace in the hole. Kitchen cabinets that are positioned against an exterior wall, especially a north-facing exterior wall, are naturally cooler than the rest of your kitchen. The outside wall pulls heat away from that space, and if it is on the north side, it is getting no direct sun exposure. That temperature difference is small but real, and for storing certain vegetables and fruits, it is enough. Choose a cabinet that is lower to the ground since heat rises. Use breathable baskets or open containers rather than plastic bags or sealed boxes. Apples, onions, garlic, winter squash, sweet potatoes all do reasonably well in this setup as long as your home is not overly warm. The cabinet under your kitchen sink is often the coolest spot in the whole kitchen. Just make absolutely sure there are no plumbing leaks before you use it for food storage. This method works across all climate zones, and it requires zero construction, zero cost, and zero trips to the hardware store. Now, before you run off and start building, let me save you from the 3 most painful mistakes I see people make. The first is rotting produce. This almost always comes down to too much moisture with not enough airflow. The fix is more ventilation and the habit of checking your storage once a week. If one vegetable starts to go bad, remove it immediately. One bad potato in a bin of 30 will rot every single one of them if you leave it. I learned that lesson the hard way my first season. Lost 30 pounds of potatoes to one bad one I ignored. 30 pounds of work gone. Pull the bad ones out every single week. The second problem is sprouting. If your vegetables are sprouting, they are too warm, move your storage to a cooler spot. A few small sprouts on a potato or a parsnip are not a disaster. Just snap them off, and the vegetable is still perfectly fine to eat. But if everything in your storage is sprouting at once, that is your signal to reassess where you have it sitting. The third problem is mice and insects getting into your storage. This is almost entirely preventable with 1/4-inch hardware cloth over any ventilation openings. Avoid wooden crates without any mesh protection because mice will chew straight through wood without a second thought. A neighbor of mine built a beautiful wooden storage box one autumn. By March, she had nothing left. The mice had found a way in through the wood and had a feast all winter while she thought her vegetables were safe. Hardware cloth. Do not skip it. Now close your eyes for just a second and picture this. It is deep winter. The stores are packed, prices are high, and there is sleet hitting the windows, but you are walking to your storage, your setup that you built with your own hands for almost nothing, and you are pulling out crisp, sweet carrots, perfect potatoes, firm, beautiful beets. You take them inside and you make a pot of soup that tastes better than anything you could buy because you grew it and you stored it and it is yours. That feeling, that is not just about food. That is about knowing that you do not have to depend on a system that keeps raising its prices and lowering its quality. That is what our grandparents had. That quiet, steady confidence of knowing they could feed themselves no matter what. That is what these 7 methods give you. So there you have it, 7 root cellar ideas you can start with almost no money. Buried trash can, recycled cooler under your porch, the insulated bin, an unheated closet, the straw pit, and your kitchen cabinet. If I had to pick one to start with today, it would be the insulated bin. $15. 30 minutes, works anywhere, and your neighbors will think you are a genius. If you have pets or grandkids around, methods 4, 5, and 7 are the safest bets since they are all indoors and easy to secure. If this video helped you today, please hit that like button. It takes 1 second and it tells YouTube to show this to other people who grow their own food and need exactly this information. And subscribe if you have not already, because every week I bring you practical, real-world tips on growing and storing your own food supply so you never have to depend entirely on a grocery store again. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 methods are you going to try first? Or do you have an old family storage trick that has been passed down to you, something your parents or grandparents used that I have not mentioned? Drop it in the comments below. Honestly, some of the best things I have ever learned came from the comments section of this channel, and I read every single one. Let's build this knowledge together. See you in the next one.